Okay, so we just got a trailer for Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity, a prequel to Breath of the Wild that takes place before the actual game. So it's basically the prequel DLC everyone wanted, except Hyrule Warriors, which will probably make for some interesting gameplay. I mean, in the cutscenes we see so many of those moblin enemies, and especially a ton of guardians, which in the normal game, if you had to face down that many guardians, that would be a problem. So I think this kind of gameplay would be perfect for that event. Now, I'm a little curious as to why we are showing the Sheikah Slate, since they have we see Link using the Sheikah Slate, we see him using Stasis, and I think we might see him using Cryosis one time, or that's probably just Mifa doing whatever Mifa does. So the gameplay, we are shown a bit of it in game. It seems fun. Now, I will go a little bit more in depth into what's actually happening, since it has a lot of little details. So, for example, as you just saw, it seems like Urbosa might have Link's time slowing ability, though I'm not sure. That might just be slowing down gameplay. Characters seem to have special ability moves. Not sure about what Link's is, though. And so yeah, it's about a 1 to 2 minute trailer, so yeah, I'm about to go over it, hopefully scene by scene. So yeah, this is the last part of the trailer where we are given the actual name and date, Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity. We start, well actually this is the ending, so we'll come back to this. We get a release date, we get a name, and apparently we're going to be getting some more information in a month, so that's going to be good. So the first thing we see in trailer is actually a tapestry that appears all throughout Breath of the Wild. We have this cutscene in these lines a whole bunch of time during the game. You have it during cast, during when you're first meeting with Impa, which is where the dialogue is actually taken from. But we are quickly stripped away from the tapestry and shown the past. So yeah, so we're shown the past, and I think this is actually the intro to the game, and this might be some new footage, though I am not sure. The rest of what we were shown here is actually old footage from cutscenes in the game. Now, the first thing we see of Link here, I think is his Night Coronation Ceremony, like in the first Hyrule Warriors, and then I think this is also a cutscene from the game, and then it just transitions into gameplay, which we'll talk about now. It seems to be the standard Hyrule Warriors gameplay, and we see a whole bunch of moblins. Yeah, they're getting totally wrecked before Link comes out and doing his Link thing of destroying everything. Now, he seems to be wearing the garb of the Hyrule Royal Knights in this scene, so I guess he's not wearing that when he's protecting Princess Zelda, or this actually takes place before he actually becomes Zelda's appointed knight. So I think this might actually be more of a prequel than just starting at the Age of Calamity. It probably will start before Link even becomes Zelda's knight. Next, we are shown an incredibly brief shot of Zelda and Mifa. So yeah, I just kind of have to slow it down there. It seems like Mifa is going to comfort or help Zelda with something. Don't know what it is about, though. Now here we see what seems to be Link and Revoli fighting. It could be something completely unrelated, but I think either they are fighting each other, or they accidentally hit each other with their weaponry while fighting a group of moblins. Not sure quite what's happening there. I mean, this could be their first meeting, and then he's like, oh, you stole my thunder, and I don't know, maybe that explains his attitude towards Link, and not sure. So here we have just a bit more bits of gameplay. We have what seems to be Link using his bombs, so he has access to powers of the Sheikah Slate, or it's a completely different item. Next, we see King Roast blah 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 greeting his army or readying them for battle. It seems like he's probably giving a rousing speech given his weird fist pump. So not quite sure what's happening here, but probably that. Or it's a part of the same scene as Link's coronation earlier in the trailer. Now here we have a set of incredibly brief scenes, the first of which we see Zelda and Link together running away from the castle as it seems like Calamity Ganon bursts out. This might be when they first get there, or sometime during the Calamity, or even before it when he almost gets out, I don't know. But it most likely is after Ganon first reawakens inside of the castle. Here is Zelda looking up, probably after she has awakened her powers, and that's about all I can extrapolate from the scene. Okay, so we finally have footage of what it looks like for the Guardians to come out of the tower things around Hyrule Castle. We were shown it inside of making a champion, but yeah, this is the first time we've actually seen it in a footage in game form. And that transitions into the Guardians dropping down and out of the towers, or jumping off of buildings during the Calamity, not sure, probably off of the towers. And then them walking off, which is really friggin' cool, if I might add. And yeah, so we know that this is the start of the Calamity, as more Guardians are coming out and as Ganon is taking over them. Wahahaha. Here we see what looks to be the moment when Link is appointed Zelda's knight. Though it is a bit strange that Zelda is wearing her, I think that is sacred gown that she wears when she is in the Sacred Springs. Now, I just noticed that Sheikah there, which I don't think is the Sheikah that we see who are the ones who take Link to the Shrine of Resurrection. I believe that's actually Impa or Purah, based off of the hair and the fact that I forgot her name, but one of Impa's relatives is in the game, has that type of hair. Now, what we have here is very exciting. It is the Akala Citadel, which we explore in-game in Breath of the Wild, all torn up and kind of old and destroyed. But here we can see its cannons firing, and I'm pretty sure this is the only area where we have those cannons in-game. So this is probably the Battle of the Akala Citadel. So I guess we're going to be shown there. Now, if you have Creating a Champion, which I do not, you're kind of actually slightly spoiled to what happens in the game, because Creating a Champion outlines what happens during the Calamity and the exact movements of all of the champions, including Link and Zelda. So you kind of already know what's going to happen here, but most people who don't have the book probably don't. Now here we are shown just kind of Ganon's general army and all the undead rising. We have the Lionel charging at Link and being frozen in stasis. And here we have some actual interesting stuff. And so yeah, so we see Mifa using one of her water abilities, and are also kind of slowing down and going for a slash. Yeah, so we kind of get a look at some of their special moves. I don't quite know what Mifa is. It kind of looks like when you're jutting out of a waterfall, but it just shows us how powerful these champions are. Not quite sure what Ouroboros is doing. It looks more like something Link does in the actual game. Well, in Breath of the Wild, not this one. I also just noticed that the battle where Mifa is doing this takes place really at that fort that you find behind the Twin Peaks, and I forgot its name since it's been a little while since I played the game, but yeah, just an interesting detail there, since we are shown the aftermath of that battle in particular. Next, we are shown a group shot of the champions all together. Not sure if this is during the Calamity or after they all become and are appointed champions, but it is just something interesting to note here. Now, here we are shown Vah Rudania. So, probably when Daruk is training either to pilot it or during the actual Calamity itself. Here we see a Zora warrior fighting a bunch of moblins, so not much there, but what's even more interesting is what Daruk is doing. We see that he uses his weird little volcano rise earth power thing. We don't see him using his champion abilities, but we do see him doing that. And now we have Revoli, who is sending out a volley of arrows, bomb arrows, against this swarm of what I can only assume are bokoblins, the blue ones, or their Yiga soldiers. So after lifting them in or launching them into the air, he then just throws a whole volley of explosive arrows at them. So, you know, this guy does a lot of damage. Or at least I hope he does a lot of damage with an attack like that. And here we have Link trying to fend off what looks to be either a Great Thunderblade or an attack from Thunderblight Ganon. Not quite sure. It looks like a Guardian weapon to me, though. Maybe. Now, this set of scenes, based off of the lighting and their expressions, seems to be when each of the Guardians falls to their respective blights. So yeah, this is going to be a pretty sad sequence when we see it in-game. Here we have Link escorting Princess Zelda away from the danger, most likely in Hyrule Castle, and we see either the surprise or shock of the Guardians turning on them, or they already knew and were just running from the Guardians, but we see Guardian Laser firing and missing. And finally, we see Calamity rising out of the castle and screaming out into the blood moon before transitioning to the name of the game. Literally, Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity. And we get a little bit extra of Zelda when she is sealing away Ganon. And yeah, that's it. That's it. We get a release date of November 2020, and then we are shown a date of the next update for probably Breath of the Wild 2, hopefully. So yeah, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed. Please like and subscribe. This is my first ever Zelda video, so I hope you enjoyed it. So yeah, this is Rigel2 signing out. Stay safe, everyone. Bye-bye. I also just noticed the weird little blue guardian robot thing. No idea what it is, though.